What can you really do when it feels like life is targeting you and every single time you have a moment of peace, a moment of clarity, it seems to always be taken from you? Like life will keep putting you in this ringer. It'll keep putting you in this crazy situation and then keep putting you in different crazy situations, and each situation is designed to make you feel small and to make you feel defeated. And it's absolutely ridiculous, because a lot of us, we really do go through a lot, man, and we really we really have deep psychological issues now, it feels like, or maybe emotional issues that it's going to take a long time to solve, or probably, more realistically, it'll never be solved. And so a lot of us will never be healed. Like we'll never ever just get into that position where we're living life the exact way that we always wanted. There's always something that reminds us that life is absolute hell. Whether you're homeless, whether you have to work a 9 to 5 that you absolutely despise, around coworkers that they don't really care much for you, that they absolutely openly despise you, and you have psychological issues, you're alone, and no one believes the war and the battle that you're going through. No one believes that, you know, you're going through all these issues, and what makes it worse is no one really cares. No one cares that you're going through all of the psychological issues that you're going through. No one really cares that you don't have nobody really to talk to. You don't have nowhere to go. It's hard to make money. It's hard to hold a decent job. And then once you get a job, it's not enough, because at a certain age, you should have a house. Like if you're somebody in their 30s, you should already have a house and a home, right? This is what most people think. And if you don't have that, then people are going to look down at you, especially if you're homeless with nothing. People are going to down at you and talk about you. But if you won the lottery overnight, those same people that were talking about you, now all of a sudden they like you. All of a sudden they want to be around. People are just so fake. I just can't stand that. It's absolutely ridiculous, because I think real souls and real spirits are real, meaning that they they can tell when somebody's being genuine. They can tell when somebody really cares about them. It's like this. It's like little things people do, the tone of their voice, the way they do little things for you without you even asking, right? That's how you can tell somebody really messed with you and got love for you. But a lot of us were surrounded in situations where there's people that they don't really care about us as much as let's just be real, they don't like us at all. Let's be real, they don't like us at all, and we're forced to be around it, and there's nothing you can do. It's like, it's absolute torture. It's like, why would this God, if this is a good God and I'm a good person, and this God sees that all these events that happened to me were orchestrated by evil, orchestrated by him, and he puts me through it and keeps going through it, what is the purpose of it? The only purpose is to loose harvest me. That's the only purpose. Because I contain the divine spark, and a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but some other people do as well. And this is why we're targeted for we're targets for the Hylics and the NPCs. It's why they target us. They parasite off of our energy, because we are real divine creation energy. And I know it sucks, man. Like the way this world is designed, the way everything is just made to make you feel low. Everything's made to make you just feel like sometimes life is not even worth it. Like sometimes the way this world operates, the way this world works, it's like these systems that are in place is just designed to snatch your energy, to sap your energy. That's what it feels like. It's like you're getting your energy drained. You know, it's just ridiculous, because it's like it's constant. It never stops, and you're fighting a one world. You're fighting a one bat, like you're fighting a one person war, a one person battle. In a one person army. And you're trying your best to keep your head above the water. but no one sees your struggles. No one cares about your battles. No one cares about your scars and your bruises. They don't care. All they care about is, are you rich? Do you have the results? Like, it takes a long time to build something up, especially building a business up that becomes financially successful. It takes a very long time. It's not something that's easy. It's not something that happens instantaneously. It's something that a lot of people actually fail at. A lot of people actually fail at being business owners, because it's difficult. It's not easy. It's not easy to manage a business. It's not easy to get, loyal customers that are going to keep coming back to your product. Keep supporting your product, keep your business in order. Then you got to pay, the fees and all that for having a business. So it's kind of expensive. But then you have people like Elon Musk, who you see the government just gives him, hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars to help his businesses out. You know, I wish the government would give me, $500 million so I can develop some product or something like that. You kidding me? Like it's just like, it's crazy how certain people can get so much help, so much privilege because of their, connections. I'll just say that. And other people, man, you're out here stranded on an island by yourself, man. It's brutal. You know, Being a guy in this position, bro, it's like, it's one of those things where it's beyond torture, it's beyond torment. It's a very graphic, a very ruthless, a very brutal way of living. When you're starved of female attention, you're starved of female intimacy, you're starved of having any money, you're starved of having any power. And then they wonder why certain people turn to the quote unquote dark side when they stop being nice, they stop smiling, they stop trying to be happy, and they just give over to their raw, dark desires. I don't know, man. I just feel like this world is I can feel that there's something big happening behind the scenes, something evil going on, some type of big plan that's going on, and it's going to come into the light real soon, and what's crazy is that somebody like me, I've been going through it for such a long time, man. And I know a lot of us have. Like, we've been going through our own emotional battles, our own wars and everything like that. And we have had no type of help. We've had no type of rest or alleviation. The small little moments where we had a little bit of peace, a little bit of tranquility, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, those small moments came and they went. And it happened so fast. Like, you didn't even have enough time to really gain your mind. And it was done on purpose by the demiurge. I truly believe the demiurge picks on certain people. I truly believe the demiurge finds certain people and he just targets them and he makes their life a living hell. And I'm one of them. And he does it on purpose. Even though I have the talent to get out my situation, it's going to be extremely difficult because the demiurge is going to be right there because he doesn't want me out of my situation. He doesn't want me making a lot of money doing what I like for a living, making 10 grand every single month. He doesn't want that. No. But he'll allow somebody like David Dobrik to make millions of dollars a month, or, all those big streamers or whatever making millions of dollars a month. He'll allow that. And those people are not, they may not be the most brightest people, but they're definitely some of the most wealthiest, and they have the life that we can only imagine and dream of. Money, I don't care what anybody says. Look, money may not buy, quote unquote true happiness, but money can make life a whole lot better. If I had millions of dollars right now, let's say I had about $3 million. Do you know what I could do and how happy I would be? Like, give me a little car, give me a little home somewhere, and then the rest invest and then save, and then don't spend it. That's it. Get one car that you need, get a little crib or something, and then invest like invest in something that's guaranteed, and then put a little money in for your own independent business ventures. Make your own business, build your own business up, try to create something for yourself that you own, so that way nobody can ever fire you. Like, if you make your own business, something that you love to do, and you turn it into a business, you're not going to fire yourself. If you get people that love what you do, they're able to buy your product, they're able to support you financially, then you have a business. That's what business is. There's a reason why McDonald's is popular. McDonald's is everywhere. You can go to any McDonald's, and McDonald's is pretty much going to be the same. It's going to be the same layout, the same orange soda, the same, Big Mac. It's going to have the same quarter pounder. It's going to have the same type of stuff, right? So I think a lot of us should really become more business minded, especially guys like this in this position, because it's extremely hard for us to even find jobs. It's extremely hard for us to even find employment. It's extremely hard for us to even get along with people. And we have to make our own type of business. We got to create this for ourselves because, a lot of us, I think we're put in positions on purpose just so this God can just be entertained and loose us. This God knows damn well that these people don't like us, and he's going to put us right around them. He's going to make sure that he's going to make sure that we can't escape our situations. This God does that shit on purpose. He's going to make sure that, you're working at that, Foot Locker or something like that, and some people may think that's cool, but you're working at Foot Locker, and let's say you want to be a music producer. And let's say you're actually talented, but that God will never allow you to actually pop and break and never give you your chance. You try to upload your music on YouTube, it never takes off. You get your 10 or 15, 20 views, if that, and you're fired. You keep uploading every day for 3 years in a row and nothing happens. And you're like, damn. And like every time, like there's people that want to rap or people that want to hang with you and try to make music with you, like it never goes anywhere. It's like the demiurge watches and makes sure that he puts people around you that are not as serious as you. Like the people may have a studio, but they just playing around. Meanwhile, you have somebody who's whack and trash, and then they'll be around people that are serious and that they'll go the extra mile for them to get put on, and the guy can't even rap right. But then the guy that's real serious, he gets put around people that are not serious. You see, the demiurge has a way of just being an ass, and it does this on purpose. Like you can be somebody that's homeless, you have nowhere to go. And you have people that, you can come stay over here from a little bit, and then you can go to that other person's house, and that person's gone a little bit, and then between this time and that time, you can sleep at the park, and then you have to live like that, like do people understand what that does to the mind? But you don't have anywhere to go, and like it's crazy how like you can have a voice, and your voice can, have people attracted to you, like in a negative way, like you can have people that just hear your voice, or just and these people are nefarious characters. These are not good people at all. These are the most disgusting people you'll ever encounter, and that's like a double-edged sword of being on the internet. Is you run into a bunch of you'll run into a bunch of weirdos and weird people that you would never interact with in real life, and these people would never even look at you in real life or even say anything to you, but because of the how anonymous the internet can be, people hide behind their screens or whatever. They can hide and they can just let their most evil, rawest selves come alive. That's what people say. That when people say the internet is not real life, that's not true, because you got people on here who they like the parasocial relationships is absolutely horrible. Like I was watching Lord Hex Squad, and you got people mad at him about choices that he made in his life, and these people don't even know him like that. It's like, it's crazy, man. And so if my voice can attract negativity, how come my voice can't attract something positive? Like if my voice can attract, random weirdos, how come my voice can't attract somebody that's, who's serious about making music, who's serious, and can help me get to the next level? Or maybe a girl or something like that that can, that's cute and wants to, have a relationship with me or something like that. How come my voice can't attract that? You see how it was orchestrated and done on purpose just to attack me? Because the more I started talking about the demiurge and exposing that, and that's when all these attacks and stuff start increasing. Like I was always getting attacked, but when I started naming to it, when I started putting the name to it and putting and showing the direction, then the attacks increased. It's crazy. Being surrounded with all this evil, being surrounded with all this negativity, being surrounded by, just evil energy everywhere I go. It's like I didn't ask for this. I didn't want this. I never wanted to be in a position where, I'm powerless. I have nothing. I don't have nowhere to go. I don't have no reinforcement. I don't have no backup. Like a lot of us, we don't have any type of real love. We don't have any real solid foundation. We don't have any economic stabilization. We have psychological, fluctuations that lead to the negative. And we have just so many problems inside of our mind, man. And we feel alone, and people want to call us, "Oh, you're lazy because you don't want to work here or do that." It's like it's not even about that. It's like I want to do what I want to do because I know it can generate some money for me. Yeah, because I can do it well, and if I know if I'm putting around the right people, I can do this at a high level, and I can make a lot of money, from doing my thing. And that's going to lead to a good life. It's going to lead to a life of wealth and abundance, a life of having a girl, a life of, a life that I never would have imagined, a life I can't have, that the demiurge doesn't want me to have. I know it sounds ridiculous, but think about it. Look at your life right now, man. Is this exactly where you wanted to be? Did you try your hardest to succeed in life and you still, quote unquote, failed? Were you given the same opportunities as that rich person, as that attractive person, as that person that had family connections and nepotism? Were you given the exact same opportunities, or were you just thrown to the wolves like me and just expected to just survive in the wilderness? You're just thrown off into the ocean in the middle of a storm, and they got 1,000-foot waves, and you're supposed to just survive it through the night. And you're in the middle of the ocean, so there's no land in sight. So even if you do survive the night, which is good luck, in the pitch black ocean, even if you do survive that, and the daytime comes and then the waves kind of calm down, you're probably gonna be so tired you can't even move your arms. And if you look, there's probably not gonna be land in sight. You don't know you don't know which way is land, and you're probably gonna drown. That's how it is in this world when you get thrown out into the real world, you know. And what's crazy? I remember a long time ago, you know, um, it's just a long time ago. I remember like one of my cousins was like, "Oh, enjoy your last year in high school because the real world ain't no joke." Woo, woo, woo. And I was thinking, yeah, I know, you're right, but because I was thinking I'm gonna make it as a, I'm gonna make it in what I wanted to make it in, so I ain't really got to worry. I'm talented, I'm gifted, I'm probably gonna be a millionaire. You know what I mean? The way I think, the way my mind formulates and foments things, Mm, I can spit bars, I can write books, I can make melodies, I can do, so I'm thinking, positive. But, excuse me. But little did I know the demiurge had other plans. He had loose plans. He wanted to make sure that I stay on the low vibrational frequency so I can be loosed and harvested, you know? Like this world is brutal, bro. Like it's merciless. There's a reason why a lot of people, kind of just want to just become neats and become isolated because we're all devastated. And what makes it worse is that the demiurge know that you don't have anywhere to go. This God knows I don't got nowhere to go. This God knows I ain't got no place to lay my head. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got no money. I ain't rich like that. You know? And yet this God is still attacking me mercilessly. Meanwhile, there's somebody who's never went through the hell that I've been through, and this God is blessing them. They ain't never had to worry about where to lay their freaking head at. And this God is blessing them with money, power, and wealth and influence. But somebody like me, I guess I'm not good enough to get blessed, right? I guess your enemy doesn't want to bless you. Huh? I guess your enemy can't bless you, huh? Right? Because the God of this world, he's definitely our enemy. He showed everything that an enemy can show: open disdain towards you, doing submissive, underhanded attacks to attack you indirectly, but then deny it so they can have plausible deniability, like the CIA, so you can get away with it, and then keep on attacking you, and then keep their hands clean, so they want to be able to attack you and not face any type of repercussions or consequences. That's demiurgic behavior. That's archonic behavior. That's exactly how they act like. That's exactly how they behave. These beings are extremely evil and extremely wicked. They're not on our side, man. And it gets difficult every day to keep going on when, your mind is already broken in 1,000 pieces. When your mind is already, it's just, you feel devastated. You feel like, damn, only, like, if only I would have made it. If only my dreams would have came true. But of course, it's just too good for me to be a millionaire. It's just too damn good for me to have a lot of money and, have fucking peace, to have enough money to have my own fucking house, a two-story, my dream. Have me a nice two-story house, a couple of dogs, an aquarium, a fish tank, a gaming room, an office, wealthy, a lot of money, one of those big giant kitchens, my God, with nice marble, the bathroom with no rust in the bath. I can't stand rusty bathrooms. That's one thing, it's one of my pet peeves is rust. I can't stand a bathroom that has a bunch of brown, nasty rust everywhere. It's crazy because it's like, that's usually what I'm used to though, right? But it's just that's why I just don't like it. Like, if I ever become a millionaire, become financially well off, I'll never ever have rust in the bathroom again like that. Like, I don't know. It's just one of my pet peeves, man. If I ever become wealthy, bro, I'm just gonna have peace for myself. Peace, 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 peace. I'm never gonna have to be in situations where I'm not wanted, where I'm, you know, just disrespected, targeted, not liked. I can money buys happiness, money buys peace. Like money may not buy quote unquote true happiness, as some people say, but for me right now, what I'm going through, money will buy me some damn happiness and it'll buy me peace of mind, right? For some people, like I get it. I get when people say, okay, money doesn't buy happiness because you can have all the money in the world and be and hearing voices in your head, right? And going through it. Okay, I get that, but money can buy, it can buy access and it can deny access to you. When you're a wealthy enough person, you pick who you hang around. Like, you don't have to go to that 9 to 5 every day with people gossiping and talking crap. Like, have you noticed that the 9 to 5 jobs that are the worst contain some of the worst people? Have you noticed that correlation? That correlation is not an over exaggeration. The correlation is an observation, Like, you will see people who have crappy jobs and they'll be crappy people. That's why, like, the better jobs you get, the better. It's like a filtration system. And if you're able to, let's say you're able to be a young guy and you make beats for a living, and you're able to make $100,000 a year, and you're like 19 or 21, you're young, you're not even 25 yet, and you're able to do that for like I watch people on YouTube who live this life, man. This person that I'm watching now, the guy's barely 20, and this guy already got a home, got a car. I'm like, damn, just making beats. And people buying them. And it's like, damn, that's the life that I want. I want a life of economic independence by having my own business. And it's a business that I'm talented in. It's a business that comes natural to me. It's a business that it's something that I can do. And it's something that I love to do. And I can make a lot of money. It's enough to support myself. That's a dream. But I truly believe is this God or this whatever, this universe doesn't allow that to happen for everyone. It picks and chooses. It's like on YouTube. YouTube has its favorites. YouTube picks and chooses who gets to win. Like YouTube picks and chooses. Like, okay, YouTube will be like, you can have all these views, but you're not monetized. And then it'll be like, okay, you can get monetized, but then YouTube's gonna like cut your views in half. And then like it'll make it harder and harder for you to get views and stuff. Like, YouTube has like its own internal systems, and they pick who they want to win. Like, you can see it. I know you guys remember what's his name? Logan Paul, when he went to that Japanese forest, and you guys know what happened then. Anybody else would have been permabanned, but since he's Logan Paul, he has access and he has friends in high places. So, I'm just saying, you can see people on YouTube, bro, like, make content that openly violates YouTube's terms of service, but they'll still, but YouTube will ignore them, like, because YouTube, you gotta understand, there's humans there, and they have their own internal biases. And that sucks, because it's like, why can't we have a system and a platform that's fair, that can pay people fairly, that can, it shouldn't take you 10 years, just to finally start making, $1,000 on YouTube, like, that's ridiculous, but that's how the system's set up, and then, any business, it's so hard to get off the ground. It's like they don't want you to have financial independence. They want your finances to come directly from them so they can monitor it and they can know exactly how much they're going to give you each month. That's why it's essential for people like us to start our own businesses and have our own type of financial elevation and acceleration that's away from this devastation, because we face so much turmoil in this existence. We face so much pain in this existence. We face enough that normal people will go insane if they have to go through the things that we're forced to go through. Let's just be real. Most normal people would never, ever, ever survive our shoes in a million years, for real. Because we go through it for real, man. Like, no one really to talk to. just isolated, just trying to figure out our life, man. This life is an adventure, just trying to figure out where we need to go, what we need to do, and of course it all involves getting money. So getting a job. So they tell you money's not important, but they tell you to get a job. So that means that, you know, money is this. How can we get money? Like, in the Bible, there was a guy named King Solomon. And then God told him, ask me and I'll give it to you. And he said, give me the power and the wisdom to govern your people. And he said, and God, Yahdabaoth told King Solomon, because you said that, I'm going to bless you with all the wealth and all the women and all the success and all the power. Like, God basically said that. He said that in the Bible. Look into it. When Yahdabaoth blessed King Solomon, he gave him all the wealth, all the power, all the knowledge. He just gave it to him, not earning it, none of that. Just boom, just gave it to him. So if that God can do that, then how come this God can't just give us something that can help us out? How come I can't have a blessing that can help me out this situation, right? Because this God's an asshole, because it's the demiurge, because he wants my negative energetic manifestation on frequency. And me living in poverty, me being homeless, me being crazy, me being mentally ill, and going through the things that I go through, this is exactly what this God needs to operate and feed off of. And then he'll send evil agents to monitor me and try to, I don't know what they want. I really don't. But he'll send just evil, devious bastards who I would never even interact with. These are the scum of the earth, like these are people that, these are the scum of the earth is all I got to say, and, these are the people that find you. These are the people that will try to interact with you. Like, really? How come somebody who was serious about music couldn't have found my channel and liked it, and my whole life would have went different? How come I'm just talking about my life and like I have nobody to vent to the real life? I'm just talking about my life on the internet here and there, and you get the most evil bastards to try to follow you. Like, what are the odds of that? Like you have people that are totally insane, right? Totally insane. But then you have cool people too that show you love. So kind of, I would say it balances it out, but for me it went too far, So it's like I can get negativity for just talking on the internet. I'm not bothering nobody. I'm not fucking with nobody. I'm minding my business. All I'm doing is exactly what the other millions of people are doing. Just expressing myself. That's it. And I get targeted, but then nobody, you know what I mean? And it was basically because of my skin color, my skin color configuration. But it was never nobody to come into my life that could have seen me and like, this guy's talented. Hey, bro, where you? And this person got money and access and success, and it could have changed my whole life for the better. But that doesn't happen. But the evil shit happens, and you want to tell me there ain't no fucking demiurge? The way this life is so orchestrated and calculated is not random. It's random chaos. It's organized chaos. It's not random. It's organized chaos. This random chaos is actually organized. It's sophisticated. It's sophisticatedly organized. It's a type of organization that the demiurge does in layers. And some of these layers are to deceive you. Like you can live in a world that has a beautiful mountain range, there's beautiful trees, beautiful rainbow colored birds, and then right in that jungle there's a jaguar that looks beautiful too. But it just devoured a deer. So it's like you have beauty and you have this dark evil, but it's to the extreme. So I really don't know, man. Like I'll do anything to be successful and wealthy. Like I wish I could make me a deal. Like for real. Like, damn. I wish I could sign me a record deal. Like I know people like, damn, bro, like, but don't you know the secret knowledge and stuff behind it? Like why would you still sign? Because I don't got shit. You know what I mean? And look, I'm a man. I have needs. I want a woman. You know what I mean? I want a pretty woman, with a nice fat arse. That's what I want. That's what makes me happy. So, and I don't have no money, so, hell, give me that deal, especially if it's a few $1,000,000 too. I don't give a damn about recouping and paying it back. I'll pay it back late, whatever. Just give me that $2 million, baby. Shit. Can you imagine that? Imagine getting paid millions of dollars just to do what you love, right? And there's people that lived it and then they squandered it, like they wasted all the money, like I just wish I was a millionaire, man. I just really do.